Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thought I'd pop on and subject you to my usual 10-15 minutes worth of aimless prattle loosely based around movies and stuff. It's been a funny old week. First off, a quick shout out to Guy. Hope you're getting well, mate. I had a bit of an accident at work to do with his eye. Hopefully it's on the mend now, mate. Fingers crossed anyway, but hope you get well soon. Second shout out, Mr. Jason, who very thoughtfully posted an article on Retro Music Zone Chit Chat last night about the Spice Girls. Realising obviously that I'm a bit of a fan and how utterly distressed I was going to be upon hearing this news, he posted a very supportive message. I loved it, absolutely loved it. I told him that I was going to be burning candles on the garden and listening to the first album at midnight, and he asked me to light a candle for Meatloaf as well, because apparently he was in Spice World. So I did that, Jace, I did that, yes, absolutely. So he also put a post on earlier this week asking a question, and it was something along the lines of, can you think of a movie that the first few minutes when you watch it, it takes you right back to the very first time you saw it? Now you would think that it would be one of the blockbusters, one of the big movies. I think it was in a lot of people's case that answered the question. For me, there were two, and if you've heard these stories before, do forgive me. The first one is a 1965 movie called Curse of the Fly, starring Brian Donlevy. It was a sequel, the second sequel to the Vincent Price 1959 classic The Fly. It wasn't the best of movies, but my memory of it is very vivid. They used to run a series of movies on a Friday night around 10:30, usually after news at 10, called Appointment with Fear. I would have been about 7-8 years old at the time, and I'd asked my mother many times if I could stay up and watch these things, and she always said no, because of nightmares and stuff. I really wanted to see The Curse of the Fly, and she basically decided to let me watch it, and I got probably about 15 minutes into it, found it way too frightening, and asked if I could now go to bed. I'd had enough. So I will always remember that, and whenever I see it now, I can see it in my head now. I know exactly how it opened, and I remember those first 15 minutes very vividly. The other one would be Quatermass and the Pit, the Hammer movie from, I believe, about 1967. The New Year's Eve parties at my mum and dad's house were very popular. They used to have all the neighbours and friends around. The house was literally full of people, all drinking and eating. And they used to leave the TV on pretty much all night, in the corner of the room, just on low. And me and a couple of the other kids sat down in front of this round about, it would have been about 11 o'clock, and on came Quatermass and the Pit. And we all looked at each other as if to say, wow, should we be watching this? And we did. We watched it and were absolutely petrified right the way through it. And again, I will never forget that feeling of fear that I got right at the end when you see the energy coming out of the ground in the form of what looks like either a demon or the devil. Absolutely terrifying. And I watch it now, and every time I watch it, I'm taken right back to being 7 or 8 years old. So that would have been my answer to that question. A quick idea. I've been watching one or two fairly recent films, and I'm going to try to keep up with the sort of the new releases. I thought it might be quite a neat idea if we all started keeping a bit of a list of the movies that we've watched, that we've enjoyed, and at the end of this year, we'll all do a top 10 films of 2022 list. How does that sound? I've already got 2 on mine, and they happen to be the only 2 that I've watched this year so far. But I enjoyed both of them thoroughly. So I've got 2 on my list so far, and we've still got 11 months to go. So I think that's quite a nice idea. If we all start keeping a list of the films that we're watching, especially most of the new ones, and we'll do a top 10 list of films of 2022 at the end of the year. Bin it or keep it for this week. Possum. This has got to be classed as one of the weirdest, strangest movies I've ever watched. I sat there sort of, not numb, but completely baffled right the way through it. I got the general story, but not once in it did I see where it was going. It's all to do, roughly, with the disgraced children's puppeteer, who I think did time in jail for sexual offences. I'm not really sure. And it's all to do with this thing that he keeps seeing. He's got this huge spider-like puppet with a white mask for a head, and this thing just keeps haunting him all the way through it. Do you know what? I can't tell you any more about it. The ending made absolutely no sense whatsoever. It was really well done. Starred Alan Armstrong and Sean Harris, who was absolutely brilliant in it. It was creepy in parts. The soundtrack was good. That was done by the Radiophonic Workshop, who did most of the, who still do the Doctor Who soundtracks. It was well done. It was good for what it was. But will I watch it again? I don't think I could subject myself to it. I've pretty much made my mind up that if I watch a film once and it absolutely makes no sense, chances are I will not watch it again. So, sorry Possum, that is a definite bin it. Bye to that one. I've also been issued, not issued a challenge, but somebody at work recommended a movie to me, one of his favourites, Battle Royale. It's a Japanese movie, supposed to be ultra violent, and I've also heard tell of a movie called Nobody, which some of the lads on the group have been talking about this week, and I've sort of set myself up to have a look and watch them. I get the feeling I'm going to regret it. I might be able to handle Battle Royale, because Japanese violence is very cartoony, but Nobody, I'm not so sure. I've heard of a rather nasty thumb break that goes off in it, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. You all know that I'm not the hugest fan of gratuitous violence, so I will give it a go, but I've really got to be in the right mood for that one. But it is a movie that I'm going to watch, because I'm told that despite the fact that it's ultra violent, it is also brilliantly done. So I will give that a go at some point. Now, quickly, what have I been buying this week? A couple of DVD, well, a DVD first off. Charlie Says. If you were around in the 70s, you couldn't move for public information films, and some of these public information films were quite alarming by today's standards. They were like short horror films, basically warning people about things that they shouldn't be doing, like swimming in dark and lonely water and all that kind of thing. If I get the chance, I'll scour YouTube and find a couple and post them on Retro TV Zone, because a lot of people remember this. This is a 2-disc set which basically contains 280 of them, and I watched some of them this week and the memories came sweeping back. I was instantly transported back to the 1970s, so that is going to be a real nostalgia fest. I'm looking forward to getting into that one. On the back of the Brian De Palma movie that I watched the other week, Dressed to Kill, I suddenly found myself wanting to see more of De Palma's work. So I saw this on Amazon going quite cheap, The Fury. It's one of his early movies. It was just before Dressed to Kill. This would have been about 1977. I have seen it, but a very long time ago. It's all to do with telekinesis, but exactly what it is, I couldn't tell you. I'm looking forward to having a watch of that, because I do remember it being quite good. It stars Kirk Douglas, so it can't be all bad. And if it's directed by Brian De Palma, it's going to be very watchable. So looking forward to having a look at that. And 2 books. My God, these cost a lot, but I had to have them. As soon as I saw them, I had to have them. What's it called? Keep Watching the Skies. This is volume 1. I'm a huge fan, as you probably all know, of the old science fiction movies, the black and white ones like The Thing from Another World, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, all that kind of thing. And this is an A to Z list. If I just show you, a lot of it's just writing, but you've got some pictures in there, all that kind of thing. And it's an A to Z list, and it's in 2. Oh, that's a nice one. Check that out. The Day the Earth Stood Still, The Amazing Colossal Man. I love watching these things, and there are 2 volumes of it. You've got A to K, and you've got L to Z. So these are going to be, they're not books obviously that you're going to read from cover to cover. These are another couple of books that I'm just going to dip into, and hopefully track down the movies that they're talking about, because I love that sort of thing. And finally, this is probably my most expensive purchase this year, so far anyway. I've gone for it, guys. Camcorder. The phone that I'm doing this on now is on its last legs. It's not performing very well, so I thought it was about time to maybe upgrade. So I'll unbox this very quickly, but I won't be using it just yet because I've got to figure out how to use it first. But it seems quite nice. Comes in a nice little case. There we go. That's not too bad, is it? Nice little one that will screw onto the top of the tripod. You've got your little thing like that. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. I don't know what else you get in here. There's loads of leads, and there's a remote control. I assume they're batteries, I don't know. Mains plug. But it was bound to happen sooner or later. I've been angling after one for ages. And I thought this was maybe the time to do it, with the phone not performing very well. So I thought this was the perfect chance to invest. It wasn't too bad actually, it was £61. And I also ordered a memory card, because apparently you can't use them without one of those, which I believe was about £8. So as soon as I've learned how to use it, I'm going to be having a bit of a play with that and seeing what the videos look like when they're done on that. So if anybody's got any handy hints out there, please let me know. I've also invested in a video course on Udemy, so I'm working my way through that. I've only just started it. Basically how to make better YouTube videos. And I know what you're all saying, you prefer me just being my usual bumbling self and sitting in front of the camera, but I'd like to spice them up just a little bit. Nothing too technical, because it's just not me. But just something to make them look a little bit smarter. So if anybody's got any handy tips or hints, feel free to let me know on that. Right, that's pretty much it for this week. I hope you're all having a decent weekend. I'll be back again next week with probably more of the same. So have a good week, everybody. Thanks for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe. That'd be amazing. Have a great week, folks, and I will see you all next weekend. Take care. Ta-da.